it is a new kind to think, a new perspective. It is turning around images by everybody. It's hard to work on for the people from the left. It's hard to work on by entrepreneurs and so on, by everybody. And if it's not interesting. It is not a left thing. It's not a right thing. It's not a liberal thing. It is to work hard on by your imaginations. That's the new thing. So the story is that we did this film, and it's seen 1 million people, and a few other people come together with us, and they did this pressure to start with the People Initiative. It was too early to start it. We said, oh, it's too early, but Daniel Straub thought it's a time. And that's the point I talk about, because every time it's too early.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I have to leave. It's a problem today. The train had 2 hours and 40 minutes delay because of a suicide, and now I have to go to the trialogue. I'm very happy that you're all here. Sorry for this, but I think it's more important that it happens and you can meet than I'm with you today. So the trialogue is negotiations between Council, Commission and the Parliament. And this is a date that I was just informed about, that I have to go there. So I just can welcome you and say goodbye at the same time. And sorry for interrupting, I just explained it.
But please, one word about basic income from you.
From me?
One statement.
Statement. I think that in the 21st century we have to understand that every person has the right to live as a free individual, and that what we all produce together on this earth, we produce together for everybody in order to make this possible, so that the basic income is the very condition to live as a free individual, and not the consequence of what you do, but the basis on which you live and decide freely what to do in your life.
Great.
I'm very sorry, but I mean, it's a strange situation. I invited you to come here, and I'm the only one who can't. I mean, there are other colleagues who cannot come. But we met here the last time. We met very often. We worked together for a very long time. And I'm happy to see some of my colleagues here. So I wish you a very fruitful meeting, and I go to the trialogue. Okay? Bye.
So I will go further on. There's 2 points I wanted to say. It's only a few people, and it's every time it's too early. And we also started this initiative, and at the beginning of this collecting signatures, it needs 100,000 in Switzerland. We realized that it's not like we expected, that the people come and say, yes, we want to collect signatures, because it's really hard work on the street, one by one, to talk to people who want to hear about such stuff. And so it's work, and it's like a service for democracy to go to the street and to have face-by-face with the people this conversation and collecting signatures. But on the other hand, this is a real thing. It's handmade. And maybe this having signatures by the internet, having this so easily, is not at least the more easy thing. We have to look by people who do this real in the winter, in the streets, at the main stations. And we have to find new methods. So there grows up generation basic income in Switzerland. People who said, let's have this collecting signatures like a party. Let's do it with fun. Let's have parties and events, and let's do it sportly, and to find a new way to handle with this idea and to handle with the people. And that was important too, to have this meaning, to have this atmosphere, this power in it. It wasn't clear for us if we arrived this 100,000 or not. It was to don't know it just until the summer. But then we have had 143,000 signatures, and from this are 126,000 real, and with that we are successful. And that is, for me, the most important thing to say. We have this instrument by direct democracy, so we can do something, and that's not in Europe. I would like to say it's feudalism in Europe. It's a moderate feudalism. It's not democracy. With this view from Switzerland, and I can say it because I'm native German, you see, in Switzerland, in this direct democracy, the population is a sovereign. It's not given by the parliament to be sovereign. That's feudalism. That's the government say, okay, you may do more or have more rights. No, it's the opposite. It's the other direction. The people say what's to do. They introduce. They do their statements. And that is real, and it's living. You can do that. In Switzerland, I realized that it is possible. The population really is a sovereign and is giving the proposals and so on, the statements to the government. And that's another direction. And I think for the campaign of unconditional basic income, what for me is exactly the same idea like democracy. It is that everybody by him or herself is able to decide what is right and not, and everybody is able to decide for their own life. And so I think this initiative in Switzerland for an unconditional basic income may give the power to Europe to look to the key point that people has the right to have to be initiative and to change things and to introduce in Europe democracy. What is not exact? I think it's not too much to say. It is not. You can vote every 4 years, by whom you have to say nothing. So, when we did, and that's a problem for going on with this initiative in Europe, you have nothing in your hand. You can have events, you can have a petition, what is from Rome, it's 2,000 years old, it is to say, please, Lord, could you have a look to me? It's not a right, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's a game. It takes your power, it takes your time, it takes your lifetime, it takes your hope, and it is nothing. That's what I want to say. When we did this, we gave the signatures to the parliament. We have this performance. Maybe you have seen it. We have this 15 tons of money, real money, 8,000,005 Rappen pieces, coins. What is 400,000 francs? And what is 8 million? Because the population in Switzerland is 8 million. And we did it on the federal court. It was a basic income. It was a picture that there the money, mountain, you know, in Switzerland there are mountains, and in the world there are mountains of money, and we did it to a carpenter. We did it to a floor, and everybody can live on it, play on it, work on it, have a rest on it, relax on it, and so on, make love on it. And this picture was going around the world. It really was in every country, every continent, everywhere. And then the phones become hot by all the people from all over the world to ask, oh, what's this idea of an unconditional basic income? For example, the Russia Today, they first told, oh, they are too rich now in Switzerland, that's our money. and they give it to the population. We have to look like the companies, how they go further on at the banks and so on. But it starts the discussion, and the point is, for example, in the United States, all over the country, this idea did a big wave, and the whole country, the United States, is discussing about an unconditional basic income. So they realize, from my experience, they realize, they feel, they are tended to this idea, they feel ideas. And then they are going practical around this idea and say, it's more efficiency, it's more good for the people, it's more fair, therefore let's do it. So they are discussing seriously about an unconditional basic income, and they started a petition to the White House to have this unconditional basic income by dignity, and like the Swiss people do it. The next step is that in the moment we offered to buy the strong room, the safe, with the money, for a lot of money, and this goes around the world again. And so we have these pictures, not the input, and that's for me interesting to realize. It's not the input, it is a picture. It is archetypes. So you have to have a golden space full of money. Archetypes, pictures, no input. And then the wave comes back with the question, what do you mean with an unconditional basic income? And so our process is more to play with it. Not so much to be very heavy and say, yeah, we have to do, and it's good for the people, but to be attractive. To be attractive, that's the point. For me, I can say this, that is the way what's going on. If there is something what is more attractive, a kind of living, a kind of thinking, a kind of looking, it must be more attractive, not right. It's really not interesting if it's right or not. That is a theme, that ideas, thoughts, we have it. We have every good thought. But be more